Hello and welcome. I am Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com, and today it's another Q&A day. I'm here to answer your questions, and today the questions are all about food for health. We're going to talk about weight gain, ashwagandha, gluten, depression, and a couple other questions. So these are some really good topics. I'm glad that you asked them and we get to answer them here today. So before I get started, let me just go ahead and say thank you for joining me here on this YouTube channel. We hit the 10,000 subscribers and that is just so exciting. We had a party here at our office and we're excited because that means I'm sharing with you God's recipe for excellent health, and this is information that you want. And so please, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it to get notified when we post new videos. And we post videos 3 to 4 times a week because there's a lot of content that I want to teach you. I have a closet full of content. As you can see, I have bookshelves full of books that I study, and the most important book is always going to be God's Word. So that is our filter for everything we teach here. So thank you for joining me. Now, let's get started with your questions. Now, I'm not sure you're aware of it, but we also have a podcast, Biblical Nutrition Academy. And when I answer questions on the podcast, I give away prizes up to $100. Now, question number 1, what specific foods can I add to help with weight gain? And this was submitted by Abdi Mohamud. Now, weight loss and healthy weight gain are always dependent on a healthy microbiome. When we are able to metabolize our foods correctly, our body responds with a healthy toned physique. Eating high fiber and good quality protein, plus lots of healthy vegetables and some fruits. Now, vegetables, we need to include root vegetables. That is going to help us to put on a healthy weight. Now, this is going to bring us in balance with our health and our weight. For more weight gain, I typically recommend to increase the protein and add an extra healthy meal per day. Question number 2, is ashwagandha helpful for menstrual disorders? This was submitted by Saeed. Now, I appreciate this question because it encouraged me to actually go back and do more research to make sure I was up to date with what I was teaching you about the adaptogenic herb ashwagandha. Well, what I discovered was a study that I had not unveiled before, is that ashwagandha is anti-angiogenesis. Now realize angiogenesis is what I teach you about in another video, so you might want to grab that video. We'll link it down below. It is how our body builds blood vessels to tumors. And this is what we want to interrupt. And when we eat foods such as cruciferous vegetables and other foods that are anti-angiogenic, it interrupts that feeding of the tumor. Well, ashwagandha is one of those herbs that is also known for doing that as well. Now, as I looked more and more into the menstrual cycles and into ashwagandha, there are several studies out there, but mostly they're referring to balancing cortisol, balancing mood swings during a 28-day cycle, and even libido. Yet realize ashwagandha is adaptogenic. So if you are really high on stress or you're really low in depression, it's going to bring you into balance. So that's what we mean by adaptogenic. It means it's going to work differently in each person because it's bringing you back into balance. God designed us to live in balance. Now, He knew we're going to have rocky roads. He knew we're going to have days of upswings and downswings. That's just who we are. And that's not unnormal. That actually is normal. But He gives us foods, and specifically herbs, to help us balance our life. You know, we're going to have stress or a death in the family or a sickness, one of those things. And so it's going to help balance us. So just realize this is good. So ashwagandha is most notably known for being anti-stress. And so this is one of the reasons why I take it every day. In fact, I have it here on my desk. I take a supplement called the Mood Plus, and this just brings balance to my day. I get a lot more done, and I just love the effect of it. And so as far as the studies out there on PubMed, it It does not state specifically that it's going to work for menstrual irregularities, but you did not clarify that in your question, but it will help alleviate many problems. It also helps to balance blood sugar, it helps with erectile dysfunction, it helps to improve muscle tone, relieves anxiety, depression, stress, and so for that reason, it's enough for everyone to want to take it every day. Now, it's also known for helping with insomnia. So realize, some people will take this and they'll notice it in 20 minutes. They went from a level of 10 in anxiety, and then they're like, now, you know what, now I'm at a 6. Okay, so it didn't totally take it away with just one dose. Other people don't notice it at all. It's like, I took that, it didn't work. Well, if you keep taking it, you're going to have a compounding effect, which is going to definitely improve your focus and improve your ability to function and to get a lot done without being stressed. So just keep this in mind. Ashwagandha is an herb you do want to consider taking. It has so many health benefits that it's just incredible for everyone. There is a caution out there on PubMed that says if you are pregnant or nursing, not to take it. Now, typically that's just because they haven't tested it on people who are pregnant or nursing. So just keep that in mind. Question number 3. Many people are saying that all gluten is causing depression. But do you think, quote, live bread is still okay, even though it contains gluten? This was submitted by Holistic Barn. Great title. The more processed foods we eat, the more we're going to depend on the medical process to live. With that being said, gluten is not the end all for all of our health problems. People try to camp out on that, like get rid of gluten and your whole world changes. Now, there are many studies trying to prove gluten as the main contributor to depression. Yet what they've proved is it's actually the microbiota that influences depression more than the gluten. Now, gluten in processed foods is horrific for your body, bottom line. Eating foods that are real, live, as you say, improves the health of the microbiota. Now, microbiota is a singular form of the microbiome, which I discuss very often on this YouTube and podcast. The health of your microbiome is what's going to determine the health of your mind. When we feed our microbiome well, you're going to be happy. When we feed it lab experiments, you're going to feel tired. Now, realize even organic, gluten-free, non-GMO food can be lab experiments. If you remember my grocery discovery videos, I teach how to shop. First of all, pray before entering the store. Seek God's guidance in the choices that you make, and never shop hungry. All right, question number 4. I'm addicted to food, and I do not on any level think I am lovely or good enough. This was submitted by Elizabeth. We have been taught that food comforts. Therefore, we have hundreds of recipes for comfort food. We have been taught food is love. Yet more depressed people are overweight than happy people. We have been taught that you must look like a model to be beautiful. When we listen to the world, we get confused and dejected. You see, food will never help you feel good enough. Stuffing our bodies with food will never solve our low self-esteem, or it's never going to give us that feeling of worthiness. Food has no arms to love me, to hug me, to comfort me, to talk to me. And the more we eat for those reasons, the more we dig a ditch that we're unable to scale out of. The only way out of this is to decide, do you want to be free of this addiction? Now, with that one decision, you then have to decide, are you going to do something about it? Well, from there, the answers are abundant. You're not the first to climb out of this pit of despair. In fact, I was in there myself. I was fat, depressed, and ugly, and no one could convince me otherwise. So here are the 3 steps that I took to be set free. Number 1 is the word credit. It starts with recognizing where you are and where you want to be. And then, without it seeming too hard or impossible, every day I want you to give yourself credit for doing one thing that will help you reach the goal of getting out of that pit. Now, we don't give 1 second of thought to what we did wrong. We're going to focus on what we did right. Writing down one thing that you did right to be the person that you want to be is going to start this change. Number 2, do a beliefs download. So we start by writing down our beliefs on paper and choosing which one of these beliefs do we want to continue believing and which ones don't fit anymore. Let me just ask you, who gave you the idea that you're unlovely? Let me tell you, they were wrong. You are beautiful. Every person made in the image of God is beautiful. To speak otherwise is to say that God is not beautiful and what he created is not beautiful. I had to tell myself every day, I love the body you've given me. I love who I am. Even at the obese state I was in, I had to say those words till I was ready to believe it. So give yourself credit every day for doing at least one thing right. Challenge your beliefs, correct the lies, and write the truths. And number 3, read Jeremiah 31:3 every day to yourself. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with loving kindness. You see, everlasting love is eternal. It's infinity. It was there before you were born, and it's there today. It's there for you to believe tomorrow and the next day. You see, nothing can separate you from God's offer of love. As you do these 3 steps, I hope you notice there was no direction about food. Your food addiction is not food addiction. It is harboring other problems. When we correct the other issues, we solve the food addiction. You see, if we continue making food the focus, then we continue to make food the addiction. I just want to thank you for joining me here today so I can answer your questions. And if you'd like to have your questions answered, please join our Facebook group, Biblical Nutrition Academy. And you can join that group once you have answered the questions to get in. And plus, you need to download the 7 Steps to Amazing Biblical Health, which is on our website. It's totally free. The Facebook group is free. And I love answering your questions for free. I am Annette Reeder, the Biblical Nutritionist, sharing with you God's recipe for excellent health. Have another Amen day.